Let me be clear about something. I was married for less than a year. I think I was 24 or maybe 25 when I got married. And I lived with a man for 4 or 5 months. So that goes without saying that I am not a relationship expert. In fact, I hate modern day relationship advice. So take everything I will say in this video with a pinch of salt. I am not a finance expert either. I'm just a girl with a camera, an opinion, and a story. It would be so unwise to take anything I say in this video as the gospel truth. Where to begin? Let me set the stage first. Me and this guy, my ex-partner, we met when I was 22, turning 23. Or I had already turned 23. I can't remember. And we got married when I was 24, turning 25. Or I had already turned 25. I can't remember, honestly. And this is not a cliche marriage. It didn't fail because the guy was not providing for me or there was a money problem. People say, you thought he was rich and you realized he was stingy. My ex-partner was not stingy. Not in the traditional sense. He paid for everything, bought me stuff. You see the way girls like a partner who spends on them? That was not a problem for my partner. He did spend on me. He bought me stuff. Sometimes I even had to beg him not to buy me something or not to pay for something because I don't know about him. I don't know where that came from. I don't know his beliefs, but I know it's not something that he had trouble with. Spending money on me was not a problem. I'm gonna say I have never had this problem with any man I have met. I think only one when I was in uni that was a bit stingy, but all the men I've met have spent on me with no trouble. So my context is different, as you can see. And I remember I felt so seen, and so loved. I was like, this is such a selfless, generous man. Because sometimes you'd just be having conversations. Maybe he's called me and I'm talking about my business and maybe my budget is a bit tight. And then I go like, I'm working on fixing it and stuff like that. And the next day I wake up, he sent me money without even me asking for it. It felt like this is someone who actually anticipates your needs and actually tries to, provide for you. It was cute. I know somebody who's watching right now is saying, me too, God. God, I see what you're doing for others, but not everything that shines or glitters is gold, yeah? Part of me thought, wow, isn't this the dream of every girl where you just get a man who spends on you so easily? When I met him, I was running my own transcription business, so I was okay. I was also employed at the time. That was, I think, 2020. Yeah. And at some point, I started YouTube. And after, I think, a year or so, I quit my job and started focusing on the business and my YouTube. And the transition from employment to full-time entrepreneurship can be a bit easy, can be very, very bumpy. So he did come through for me at some of my worst moments when I was making the transition. He really did make my transition easier than other people have it. Because I know it's difficult when you've left employment and you're trying to stabilize your business. There's about a 6-month transition, and that period was very difficult for me, but he made it very easy. So he'd support me here and there financially, and I appreciated it. But there are times I'd turn it down because ideally I wanted to make sure I can stand on my feet financially, but I did appreciate the support he gave me during that time. So he was the dream man. I know you're like, oh my God, yeah, I want a man like that. He was the dream man, but there's always a caveat. There's always a catch. Things started being a bit weird at some point. I remember him telling me a story of his ex, somebody he helped in some way. He volunteered to help. The ex didn't ask for that help. He volunteered to help and they broke up. And so he was giving me, or rather he was telling me that right now I am chasing this person's family so I can ask them to send me my money back. And I asked him, when you helped this person financially, when you gave her or whoever you gave the money, did they ask you for the money? No. Did you give it out of the goodness of your heart? Yes. Then why would you ask for it back? That just didn't sit well with me. If I ask you for money, then it's okay if you ask me to pay you back. But then if you volunteer and say, you know what, I see you're struggling, I can help you with that. And at that point, we are good. You love me, I love you. It's done out of kindness. Then when you break up, why would you ask for the money back? This was weird in my head. Like, okay, this is weird. But I just filed it. I was like, this seems like an isolated incident. Let me just file it. And then at another point, I remember him and his friend had fallen out, and he was telling me when they were still friends, this guy bought the friend a bicycle for his birthday because they are like best friends. So obviously when it's your friend's birthday, it's within reason to buy them a gift. And so he bought this friend a bicycle, and bicycles are not the most expensive things in the world. Remember that. He was telling me the way now they are kind of breaking up, the friendship. And he said, I'm gonna take my bike back. And I was like, you will do no such thing. You will do no such thing. Not while we're in a relationship. You will not be gifting people things out of the kindness of your heart when you are in good terms, when you love them, and then you take them back when you break up. If it was something huge, extremely huge, then maybe you would argue taking it back. But a bike that you gave someone on their birthday, someone you called your best friend, that is crazy. So this thing started kind of triggering something in me, and I was thinking, what if someday we break up? Are you going to invoice me everything you've done for me? Like even the things I didn't ask for, are you gonna invoice me to pay you back? This was just thoughts in my head. And I remember just taking a step back. Now, every time he offered to do something for me, give me money or pay for something, I'd say, no, thank you. I'm going to do this on my own. Case in point, sometime I was buying some pieces of land somewhere. I had the money, but I was going to pay for the lands in, I think, 2-3 installments. And I remember just mentioning them passively when we were chatting. I had paid a percentage and I was going to finish the rest, like complete the payments after some time. And he told me, I can finish the payments for you. And I said, no, thank you. I will pay for my own lands with my own money. Thank you. Because I was thinking, there is no way you want someone who takes back their bike to pay for something as huge and as personal as a piece of land. No. So I remember just insisting on no, thank you. And so I was starting to see a pattern here. When my ex met me, I was not a damsel in distress. I had my business running. I was employed. I had a good job. I was holding my own, And the only time I really needed the financial support was when I was transitioning into full-time entrepreneurship, and he was there to support. Sometimes I didn't even have to ask. He just, helped me. I know I really appreciate it. Even now, I appreciate his help. But if he had not been there, I still would have survived. I would have found another way to, hold my shit together until whatever I was working on kind of started bearing fruit. It was not like either him supporting me or I'd fail or my business would crumble. No, it just happened that I had a partner who was supportive and I was in a period where I needed the support. So I was not the kind of girl, I am still not the kind of girl who would be calling you about, oh my God, pay my rent, do that. That's not my style. I do like a man who provides and who gives and all that, but I'm not the begging type. I am the kind of person who feels really good when I spend on myself, when I pay my own rent and do stuff for myself. I do like when somebody does stuff for me too, but I prefer when it comes from a point of kindness and genuine care. You have to be genuine about it. You cannot be doing it as a way to buy something back, to buy my love or to buy my loyalty. If you really want to do things for me, do it with care, like out of genuine kindness, because that is the person I am. When I give you. Whether we break up 5 years from now, I will not be taking anything back. In fact, I give you and completely forget I gave you. Let's do a story time. So I tell this person that, okay, now I've been creating content for maybe 2 years. And I need to stop creating content with my phone. I need to go professional. So I'm thinking of getting a camera. And this was after he'd asked me what gift I want. And I said, you know what? A good phone would be nice, because I had been using an old phone for the longest time. So he said, okay, I'll get your phone. Which one do you want? And stuff like that. So when we were talking about the camera, this was me just having you're just chatting with my person, We're just talking about the thing I want to buy, because now I need to upgrade my content and all that. And then he volunteers and says, okay, I'll get you the camera too. And I said, okay, you know what? I won't say no, because cameras are expensive. I said, cool. I mean, if he had not bought me the camera, I'd still have bought the camera for myself. I keep saying that so you don't think, oh my God, without him, this guy would have crumbled. No, that's not me. I have built myself up from being an orphan, homeless in high school. There's nothing I can do for myself. So He says, I'll get you the camera, I'll get you the phone. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And I remember at that time I was traveling to Kenya to see me. We were just talking and he was telling me about, how his laptop is old and, it's not working as it should be working. And I was telling him, you know what, you don't have to buy the camera for me. You can buy yourself a laptop. You can buy for me the camera. And at the time, because honestly, it's not an urgent thing, the new phone you get me will be enough. I remember him insisting that he doesn't need to buy himself a laptop. He get the camera and the phone for me. And I was like, cool. But then he kept talking about that laptop and I was like, okay, this person is doing a lot for me. Like, I really appreciate it. I also need to do something for him. I don't want you to feel like you're just always giving and giving. I want you to also receive. I want you to also feel seen and cared for and loved. So I was like, he's meeting me at my point of need. I'm gonna try my best to meet him at his point of need as well. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna get you a laptop. And I remember I got him a laptop. It was a good laptop, all right? And I gifted him the laptop and he gave me my phone and my camera and we are good, yeah? That's cool. And then I remember after that, we are just having conversations. At some point, I mentioned, oh my God, I want to buy myself a MacBook. And he says, I'll buy for you the laptop. I said, no, you don't have to. First of all, I'm just having a convo. I'm saying at some point, I'd love to buy for myself a new laptop, a MacBook, and this is something I need to buy. My laptop is very personal to me. Why? Because it's my whole business. It's like my whole life. So it's something I really needed to buy for myself. But it was not urgent. The laptop I had was working fine and there was so much going on. So I was like, this can wait. And I was telling him, I'm just telling you what I want to do. It's not something I want right now, or it's not something you have to do. And he kept insisting, I will buy for you a laptop. I will buy for you a laptop. And I kept wondering why, and at some point he mentioned, you bought for me a laptop, I'll buy for you a laptop. And I was like, no, that is not how I operate. I bought for you a laptop because you needed it. I bought for you a laptop because you've given me so much. I'm just trying to give it back. It's not tit for tat. It's not transactional. I did it out of the kindness of my heart. You don't have to buy me a laptop because I bought for you a laptop. Are you starting to join the dots? I don't want to paint the whole picture for you. I want you to kind of just figure things out by yourself. But for me, some of these things were like, okay, this is weird because, I have the capability to buy for myself the laptop. I have explained why it's important that I buy this laptop for me. So the fact that you keep insisting that you buy for me this laptop because I bought for you a laptop is not sitting well with me. I gave you a gift and that is what it is in my mind, in my world, in my heart. It's a gift. Take it, okay? If I was truly in need of something, you'd hear me say, could you please do this for me? But if I don't say that, if I insist I can do this thing for myself, and I tell you over and over, but you still insist on ignoring that boundary I have set and go ahead and buy for me the laptop, then that's a problem. What I'm driving at is the lessons I learned from my failed marriage as far as money and love are concerned. And that is what we are going to talk about. But first, do you know that I have a YouTube masterclass on Skillshare? If you want to know everything I know about content creation, how I have even managed to pull off this pivot, you want to join my YouTube masterclass on Skillshare. This is where I talk about setting up your channel the right way, choosing a niche, creating clickable thumbnails, titles. We talk about the formulas I use, the strategies I use, even how I do my search engine optimization for my content. In this class, I show you how you can actually become a successful content creator or YouTuber, how you can make videos that get views, and how you can eventually monetize and be successful. So if you're looking to go into YouTube or like YouTube content creation or to become a successful creator, if you're struggling with views right now and setting up your channel and stuff like that, this is the class for you. And you can join for free. All you have to do is click the link in the video description. That link will give you 1 month free of Skillshare. Skillshare is a paid platform, but this link gives you 30 days free. Sign up, set up your 30 days free trial and start learning. This class is like 1 hour long. Within 1 hour, you'd have completed the class, get your certificate, and you can even spend the rest of your 30 days to join other classes. Now, if you don't want to take my class on Skillshare, you can find the same class or the same course on Udemy. The link is in the video description, but Udemy and Skillshare work differently. For Udemy, you'll have to pay for that class. Either way, don't miss out. Click the link in the video description and I will see you in class. So I realized that for him, it wasn't about partnership, about love, it was transaction. It was about control and making me feel indebted to him. Because if you're insisting on buying me things, paying things for me, doing everything for me, has someone ever done something for you and they crossed you in some way and now you're scared of calling them out or cutting them off because they did something for you? That guilt, that is what I realized was happening here, where somebody just wants you to be so indebted to them and kind of feel guilty if you don't love them or stay with them or be loyal to them or stuff like, I can't find the right words to explain this. But let's go to the lessons that I picked from my marriage, as short as it was. And I hope this will help you in some way. But remember, they are not the gospel truth. My situation, as you can see, it's kind of very different. A lot of people complain about other things, about men not providing, someone not spending on you enough and stuff like that. Mine is a bit different. And someone might say, oh my God, Tess, you're speaking from a point of privilege. Maybe I am. I was homeless and sort of an orphan from high school, and my uni days were horrible, and I spent years trying to put my life together and get to a point where there's nothing a man can buy for me that I can't buy for myself. So maybe I am speaking from a point of privilege, but it's privilege I earned with sweat and blood. I worked for it. Now, lesson number 1, getting a man who spends on you is easy. Like getting a man who buys you stuff, who has money, piece of cake. But financial generosity is not love. It's not care. I'm not saying that everybody who spends on you is manipulative or anything. But in some cases, especially mine, it was manipulation. It was control. It was, let me spend on her so that I will work on you and treat you like shit and you will still stay because, you know what? Your life is mine because everything you have is because of me. That is what I call financial control and manipulation. Money without respect, money without balance, it's not it. You need to respect my independence. You need to respect my boundaries. Spend on me because you really want to, because you love me, because even if I leave you today, you'd never regret that decision. If you're spending on me so you can get something in return, then please, by all means, do not spend on me. Being a broke housewife is the worst decision you can ever make in your life. When you're broke as a woman or just as a person and you're 100% or 90% dependent on the other person for your financial survival, that's like suicide, my friend. You have zero options. Look at my situation. People always ask me, Tess, how come you left that person 4 months after living with a guy in a foreign country? There's only one answer. I had options. I didn't feel like I am tied to him. Whatever he was giving me, I could give myself. You understand? I remember people giving me crap because I mentioned in a video that I wanted him to add me to the house. What I didn't say is actually that was his suggestion because he had just bought the house and he suggested I get added to the house. And I was like, because I actually want to contribute to the bills, I was asking him, you said I'd be added to the house. What do I need to do? Because I wanted to know what do I need to do to like credit score and stuff like that so I can work towards that. So I was just reminding him. And people were like, oh my God, you are a gold digger. You wanted to be added to the house just a few months after getting to England. Bro, I was just reminding the guy what he had promised. In fact, it was not a big deal to me. You don't want to add me to your house? Cool. I will work and buy my own house. I mean, buying a house is not the most impossible thing in the world. I bought lands. I can save and buy a house. Calm down. Okay? So being broke actually makes it very hard to tell people no, to walk out of situations that don't serve you, to even live a life of dignity. I mean, I know there are housewives who are happy and all, they don't have money, they don't have jobs. They happened to meet people who are genuinely good, and that's cool. But you see, it's a gamble. The coin might fall on whatever side and you get what you get. So if you end up with somebody who is manipulative and controlling and you find yourself in a situation where you really need to live, but you do not have money, you can feel that this relationship is not serving me. My children are not happy. I am not happy. Maybe somebody is even physically abusing you or emotionally torturing you, but you don't have the option to leave because where will you go? You can't even afford a room for a whole year. You can't afford nothing. Everything you have, your clothes, your jewelry, your phone, your laptop, the house you live in, the food you eat, the man pays for that. That is a prison you do not want to find yourself in. So do not be a broke housewife. Be a housewife for all I care. Just you be a housewife. But have something going on for you, something financial, some money coming in, and save that money. If this person gives you money, I hear people say, when this man gives you money, save that money. I mean, yeah, you can save someone else's money, but it's still his, all right? One day he can wake up and say, all the money I spent on you, all the money I used to send to you every month, give it back. So ideally have something for you, money that is not related to this person. And as this person is providing for you and giving you a life and blah, 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 save your money because you might need it. And in the world we live in right now, there is like a 70% chance you will need it. Now, lesson number 3, money and good sex are honestly the bare minimum. And I'm saying this because I have seen narratives right now online where everybody's talking about, I want a man with money. Oh, money, 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 money. If he has money, if he's spending on you, then he's keep that man. I'm like, bro, money is not enough to keep a man. Money is the bare minimum. I don't know about you, but for me, normally, I like when people spend on me. It's not something I say, oh, this is so out of the blues. This man spent on me. I am keeping him. All the other men have never spent on me. For me, it's never like that. Because I don't know, maybe it's the men I attract. They all just spend on me because that is what I like. That is, when I go on a date, you will not see me fumbling for my bag. Oh my God, do you want to pay? Do you want us to split? Hell no. I just sit there. I don't even remember it needs to be paid for because, I mean, in my world, maybe it's because I'm African, the man provides, If at some point, right, we are deep into the relationship, I might take you out. I bought a man a laptop, I paid for his house renovation. It's not like I can do, I will do, but there are instances where you just provide. And for me, it's normal. It's not out of the blue. It's not, this is special. So having a man with money providing for you is not a quality you should say, now this man is the outlier. I'm going to be with him because he has money and he spends on me. That is the bare minimum. I'm not saying now they should spend millions on you. Whatever they spend on you, depending on their capability, depending on where you are at, your thresholds, I don't know, your financial levels, you and the man, somebody spends on you according to their capability. It doesn't matter how much they're spending on you. As long as they are, that's a good thing. But it's not something you say now, I need to keep this man because he spends on me. That's the bare minimum. And I have seen a lot of people say, oh my God, I just can't leave him. The sex is so good. You can have a man who spends on you and the sex is bomb, but you'll still be miserable because those two they're not enough in a relationship. Keep a man because he has good character. Keep a man because he's genuine in his actions. He might not be taking you on a yacht or, buying you the world, but the relationship buys for you. The water bottle it gets you. It comes from a point of love and genuine care. Keep that man. Trust me, you don't want to settle for the billionaire who buys you stuff and it comes from a point of, oh my God, take it. You're my trophy wife anyway. Everything you have is mine. You don't want to be with that man. So character beats everything. Again, this is not the gospel truth, my opinion. Now, this is difficult to hear, but most relationships, and that is something I have learned as a woman, and I've come to make peace with that. Relationships, and most of them do end. There are people who stay married till they both depart this world, and that's beautiful. But you'll never know what side you will fall on. You never know if you're the person who will get married and divorce after 2 months, or you're the person who will get married and stay married for decades. But make peace with the fact that relationships and do not measure your worth by the relationship or by the men you attract or by the men you're with. Like, don't feel worthy when you are in a relationship and feel worthless when you're not. Don't feel worthy when your partner is, propping you up and telling you good things, and feel like crap when your partner is treating you like crap. I think one of the things that made it easy for me to leave my abusive relationship so early was I knew my worth and I knew peace, and I hold myself with high regard. I might not be the most beautiful, the richest, the prettiest. I might not have everything that men look for in a woman, but I have self-respect. I have self-love. I have self-belief. I believe in myself and I have capability. I have evidence, life evidence to show that I can build out of nothing. That makes me not tie my worth to a man because I know who I am. And this is attributable to the fact that I spent a couple of years alone, probably 5 years, or 6 or 7, just alone building my stuff, not dating, not, messing around with men, just loving being alone. So even when a relationship turns out to be a horrible one, it's easy for me to just walk out. It's also easy for me to know this doesn't serve me. This is not what I'm looking for because, you know who you are, you know what you want, you know what you're worth, all that. I'm not saying, oh my God, I'm such a high quality woman. No, I'm just saying my inner world is balanced. My inner world is enough even without the external. If you don't rain compliments on me, I'd still be Tess. I'd still get shit done. I'd still win, If the world knocks me down and puts the feet on my neck like the world has been doing to me of late, I'll still get up and I still fight because I know I am capable. So don't let your self-worth hinge on the quality or rather the longevity of your relationship because relationships end. So don't hold on to relationships that are not serving you because they are tied to your worth. They are not. You and the relationship is just an addition, honestly. Get a partner on the same intellectual and emotional level. So I have bragged about living alone for a while, and that alone time, those years I was alone, they helped me figure a lot of things out, heal my wounds, learn to love myself, respect myself, all that crap. But then because I'm ambitious and I was so focused on work and all that, I did not give life experience a chance. So when my partner found me, I was a bit passive about it, I was so passive and I didn't have enough relationship experience to actually know what a genuinely kind person looks like and what a performative kind person looks like, what an abuser looks like, and what a normal human being looks like. I didn't have enough relationship experience to know that. I knew I was smart and I was brilliant and all that, but I had not sat down and defined the kind of man I want. So when the man came to me and he looked all right, I was like, you know what? Let's go. In fact, I don't even have time to be going outside and going through a million men. You brought yourself. He was, for me, who was kind and selfless and generous. And I was like, what more would I need? But because of my lack of experience, I didn't really know what to look for because I was very passive about it. I was not actively kind of filtering and actually choosing my partner. He chose me and I was like, let's go. If I get to speak to the 22-year-old Tess, I'd say, please sit down and figure out the qualities of the man you want. Everything. And the most important is make sure this man and you are compatible. You are aligned intellectually and emotionally. Don't go choosing people who are emotionally mature or who've not worked on themselves, who have so many wounds from their childhood and they're so broken inside and they think a relationship is gonna fix them. Avoid those people, Don't choose a man who can't get your humor, who can't sit down and have a conversation with you about something as random as the weather and you still enjoy it. Choose a man who is on the same level as you intellectually and emotionally. Because when you choose somebody who you're not aligned with, you find that even when you try to be funny, they don't get them, they take offense. When you try to have a convo about something outside sex, you having babies, they just don't get it. They're like, why are we talking about this? When are we going to have sex next? You don't want someone like that. So choose someone on your level intellectually and emotionally. Test them if you must. This is an opinion. These are thoughts. Okay, I am practicing right now, but results will be seen in the future, I think. Right now, it's very important for me to take time to actually evaluate people who come my way, who want to be my partner or who want us to have a more than friends kind of relationship. I'm taking the time to evaluate them on different levels. I have the things I'm looking for and I have a picture of the kind of man I want. I have my non-negotiables and my negotiables. So all I do is just filter and not settle. This is the last thing I would say. Do not settle. I see a lot of content on social media and I can tell there's a level of desperation when it comes to love. Like you'll see how women are talking, oh, they are not good men, oh, men are, oh, they are not good women and all that. And this leads to, I think, settling. Because you think the dating scene is horrible anyway. Let me just take the first that comes my way. Do not do that. Sometimes I think I settled and I paid a huge price for that. I have given my stories and how I have struggled since my relationship broke down. And the genesis of all my troubles in the past 2 years is because I chose the wrong man. I settled on the person that came and showed me love. The first person that did, I didn't take the time to evaluate them. At some point, maybe I subconsciously ignored red flags. So don't settle. Don't be desperate for it. Honestly, I say, I'd rather be single forever than choose the wrong man again. So don't. Trust me, you will regret it because the partner you choose will make or break you, and you do not want the partner to break you. If you want to see somebody whose partner really ruined their lives, see me and then choose wisely. How I see money and love now. Right now, I feel like money without independence is dangerous. You need to find someone who's independent, who finds joy in that independence, respects their independence, so they can respect yours too. It doesn't matter how much you love each other. You're two independent beings who come together. You don't lose your independence because you come together. One of my biggest issues with my partner was I think he hated the fact that I was independent and I could take care of myself without him and I could provide for myself. I don't think he liked that. And I usually joke with people. I tell them that if I was somebody who didn't have my shit together, I didn't have a job, I didn't have a business, I was just depending on him 90% or 100%, I would have had it even worse. He treated me even worse. From how he used to belittle me about, oh my God, you keep saying you're independent. From all that belittling and telling me your life is now very nice here in England. You keep saying your life in Kenya was good. All that belittling told me that this person hates the fact that this woman is independent. He knows deep down that I have the ability, the capability to take care of myself. You are not the end of the line for me. He didn't respect that independence because he himself was not independent. He was looking for someone to fill him because he was empty. People nowadays look for relationships to fill a void they have, a void they cannot fill by themselves. And that's very dangerous. So get someone who is independent and loves that independence. I can be independent and still be a partner. I've learned that money is honestly not evil. I am all for get the money, but no amount of money can fix a relationship. No amount of money can make up for you choosing a partner you are incompatible with. They will, I don't know, take you on a yacht, take you to Dubai, give you 5 beautiful children, all that, and you'll still feel discontent, if there's a word like that. You still feel like something is missing. Why? Because you're not compatible. Doesn't matter how much money you two have, he has, how much he spends on you, how many designer dresses you wear and bags. If you're not compatible, you are not compatible. And bottom line is, self-worth is important and character alignment. I think for me, those are the things that matter in a relationship. Sometimes when I am talking to people and they ask me, what kind of man are you looking for? I say, I need a man who genuinely loves himself. And I know it's weird because really, you have to love yourself in order for you to love me the right way. I don't know what you think about that. I don't know what lessons you've picked up from your relationships. Tell me about them. You know what? Comment down below. Which of this stood out for you? Do you think I am bugging? Which one was weird to you? Like I said, I'm not an expert, so I'm just sharing my opinion based on my story. So you tell me the lessons you've picked up in relationships, what you think resonates with you right now from what I've said. Add on to my points. Correct me if there's anything I've said that's out of line. Let me know. Let's have this conversation in the comment section. I enjoy so much seeing your opinions and just even taking part in the conversations that go on in the comment section, and I really love to see how people's minds work. So please, let's continue the conversation in the comment section. Now, if you don't want to miss out on more love lessons and money lessons and all that, I have an email list. So this is just a community I am building outside YouTube, and I send you emails to talk more about these things, even sharing opportunities and more lessons and, more of my thoughts and opinions and not expert thoughts. So if you're interested in that, please look for the link in the video description and join my email list, or scan the QR code on screen now. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm looking forward to your comment in the comment section. As far as this video goes, it's the end.